pentatonic scale is one of the oldest known scales in existence. Today I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the pentatonic scale and how to use it. If you're more of an intermediate or advanced player, stick around till the end, but let's start with a basic description of what the pentatonic scale is. We understand that scales connect notes down our fretboard, but the more you learn music, the more you understand that there's different types of scales. You might hear words like diatonic, hexatonic, and pentatonic, and if any of you are great at Greek or just good thinkers, you can figure out the etymology of this word by breaking it into two parts. Penta being Greek for 5, and tonic meaning tone or note. And so a pentatonic scale is just a 5-note scale. And you can think of it as being developed in a few different ways, but the way I like to think of it is in relation to our major scale. See, a major scale is a diatonic scale, which means it's a 7-tone scale, and when we play it on the guitar, it looks something like this. And scales, among other things, are used to build melody, so you could build a great melody using the major scale. The only difference between a major scale and a pentatonic scale is that 2 of the notes are taken out, and it's the 2 notes in the major scale that create the most tension. These 2 notes right here. By removing the 2 notes that create the most tension, the pentatonic scale is a sound that's effortless. It's smooth, stable, and melodic, and you almost never have to worry about avoiding certain notes. There are 5 positions of your pentatonic scale all down your fretboard, but today we're just going to look at the most common one. We'll play it here on the 5th fret, and that'll be important in a second, but the way you're going to play this shape is 5-8, 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, 5-8, 5-8. So now that we know how to play one, we want to get on to using it. Well, like I said earlier, scales are used to build melody, so you can use the pentatonic scale to improvise and try to create melody. If you are trying to create melody, I would suggest starting off with limiting your range to just a few notes and to follow your ear to guide you where you want to go. But it's always going to sound better over a couple of chord changes. Here's the first important thing we should understand about the pentatonic scale. There's actually a major pentatonic scale and a minor pentatonic scale. But before you get overwhelmed and think that you have to learn 5 positions of 2 different types of scales, the truth is that the major and the minor pentatonic scale are actually the same. So every time you learn one position of a pentatonic scale on the fretboard, you're actually learning 2 pentatonic scales. And the thing that makes it sound major or minor is the note that you decide to start on. When we play the scale position starting on the 5th fret, like I told you, you're playing a minor pentatonic sound. Hopefully you can hear, if I play this scale straight, the minor sound in the scale. To get a major sound out of the scale, you can play the exact same notes in the exact same way, but just start on the 8th fret instead of the 5th fret. And now you can hear the major tonalities of this scale. Isn't that crazy how that works? By just shifting your perspective of the notes, you can create a major or a minor sound. And I'll let you in on a secret, all scales are like this. But since we're focusing on the pentatonic today, let's look at the 2 scales that we just played. By changing your starting note, you're changing what we call the root of the scale. When the root of that scale shape begins under your first finger, it's minor, and when it begins on your pinky, it's major. And the way you play with chord changes is you try to line up the root note with whatever key the song is that you're trying to play over. So one thing I like to do is to go to YouTube and find a backing track. And if you were to type in backing track in the key of C major, the way you use this pentatonic scale shape is that you understand that because you're playing C major, you want a major pentatonic sound, which is the shape we just played, but starting with our pinky, and you're going to line that pinky up with the C note on the guitar and play the shape from there. Luckily for you, where we played it on the 8th fret actually is the C note. And so here's what that sounds like. Pentatonic scale is so solid that you can play that one scale over all of the chord changes. You don't have to think about adjusting your scale for every different chord. So let's do the opposite. Let's say that your backing chords were in a minor key. Well, again, you can use the same exact shape, but now your root begins where your first finger was, and you're going to line your first finger note up with whatever key you're in. So let's say that you're in the key of B minor. What you're going to have to do to play this pentatonic scale is you're going to have to run down the notes on your E string until you find B, which might look like this: E, F, F sharp G, G sharp A sharp B. And once you find where B is, you just begin the scale shape from there. So it should look something like this. Now let's pull up a B minor backing track and see how it sounds. Now, if you stuck around to the end of this video, I promised I would give you an intermediate or advanced tip. Obviously, as you start to develop your pentatonic skills, you'll start to learn some of the other 5 shapes of the pentatonic scale down your fretboard, which can allow you to expand the scale and to move into different positions. But one of the most effective ways to use the pentatonic scale, in my opinion, is to use it as a shell scale for your chord changes, but then to add back in those notes that we removed from the diatonic scale, especially if it follows the chord tones of what you're playing. So if you had a progression that started on A minor, you can play the A minor pentatonic, no problem. Let's say that it went to D minor. Well, the F note is not in the A minor pentatonic scale, but you can put it in there anyway because it does belong in the A minor natural scale, which kind of makes it a hexatonic scale for a second. And if you go to the G chord, you could add that B note back in that we removed from earlier. If you watch for chord tones and then mix them into the pentatonic scale, you get some crazy results. Like, for example, if that progression went to E7. You can even use the pentatonic scale to change per chord, like a D minor pentatonic scale on D minor with a C major pentatonic scale on C major. Pentatonic scale is such a solid sound that everybody that plays music should learn it, and hopefully this video gave you everything you need to get started.